start. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to class today. Today is actually at day 7. Okay, and before we proceed, my name is Oluwasegun Aramide, and today we'll be treating data structures. Okay, and so far so good. We've touched basically everything we need as we're almost done. By next week, we'll be done with the 5-week crash course. Okay, today we'll be treating data structures, as I've said, and tomorrow we'll look into how to undo errors and exceptions. Okay, so let's start today's class. So, what is data structure? Data structure is a way in which computer organizes or stores a collection of data in memory for efficient use. So in this class, we will be discussing the following categories of data structure: lists, tuples, dictionary, and set. So let's kickstart. Let's start with list. Now, we have previously discussed lists, but in this chapter, we'll discuss a few more methods. Methods like what we can actually do with lists and how to effectively work on lists. So we'll be discussing methods like append, insert, pop, remove, extend. Okay. So as explained in the last class, okay. So for the benefit of those joining, today we'll be looking at data structures, as I've said. And data structure is a way in which computer organizes or stores a collection of data in memory for efficient use. So we'll be discussing lists, tuples, dictionaries, and sets. So we're actually starting with lists, and we've discussed lists in our previous class, but today we'll be looking into the methods. Okay, so we'll be discussing append, insert, pop, remove, extend. So first of all, a list is just, we use lists to store data. You understand? We can use it to store data, and how to really distinguish a list is, in lists we use a square bracket. You understand? So take for example my first line of code here. I'm actually declaring a list students to be Shegun, Lawal, and Ubong. Okay, so these are the items in the list. Okay, so student is a list, and I'm actually printing a student, and I have this. Okay, now let's start with the append method. As it sounds, append is used to add. If you're appending something, meaning you're adding to a pre-existing file. If you're appending a file to another file, if you're appending file B to file A, you are just adding file B to the pre-existing file A, right? So append is used to insert an item in a list. As I've said, Shegun is an item in student, Lawal is an item in student, Ubong is an item in student. Student is a list. So if you want to add more, let's assume, okay, you have a school and you just have 3 students. Now, luckily for you, you have new students, new intakes, and you actually want to add them to the list of students you have. Then all you need to do is to use append, okay? And append can only insert at the end of the list, meaning, okay, take for instance, I'm appending an item, Lawal. Lawal is a student. Okay, I'm appending a Lawal to students. Okay. Now, what append does is what is actually going to add Lawal as the last item in the student. Now, before using append, I just have 3 items in students, which is Shegun, Lawal, and Ubong, right? Now, at this point, I am adding Lawal to students. So let me print students now. Initially, student consists of 3, but now I've added Lawal, and Lawal will now take what? The last item, okay? So I can also use insert, okay? But the difference between insert and append is, for append, is definitely going to what? It will add the last, it will add the item as the last item in the list. So now I'm adding Lawal. Lawal happens to now be the last item because it will add to the end. But for insert, you can specify where exactly you want to add whatever you're adding to the list, the item you're adding to the list, you can specify where exactly you want it. So now the students, so I'm coming. So let me just print students so you see what we have before I proceed. Now, students is just Shegun, Lawal, Ubong, and Lawal, right? So now I want to use insert instead of append to add Nana. But now I am specifying the index to be 2. Now we've treated indexing, right? And you know Python uses a 0 index, meaning the index is initialized at 0, it starts from 0. So Shegun is index 0, Lawal is index 1, Ubong is index 2, while Lawal here is index 3, right? Now I'm inserting Nana in index 2, okay? So let's see what happens. Now you can see that Nana now is taking index 2, Ubong will move to 3, Lawal will move to 4. Unlike append, if I'm appending Nana, then definitely Nana would come after Lawal. But if I'm using the method insert, then I have the privilege to specify the index where I want Nana. You understand? So that is how this works. Okay. So let's go to pop. Pop is used to remove the item at an index if specified or at the end of a list. So this is what we are saying. We use pop to remove an item. So if I specify the index, then pop will remove the item that corresponds to the index I'm specifying. But if I don't specify the index, then pop removes the last item in the list. Okay. So now this is actually our I'm coming. Now, before we proceed, let me call students so we'll have an idea of what we have before we start. So now this is what we have as students, okay? And now I want to call the method pop on students, okay? Now, Shegun is index 0. So I'm specifying index 0, meaning I want to remove Shegun out from the list, okay? So using pop and specifying the index to be 0, I've removed Shegun from the list, okay? And as I've explained before, if I did not specify the index, pop removes what? The last item in the list. So if I should run this, I've indirectly what? Removed Lawal, okay? Now, before I started using the method pop, our student is, the item in student was initially Shegun, Lawal, Nana, Ubong, and Lawal, okay? Now I've used pop 0 to remove Shegun, and without specifying the index, I've actually removed Lawal, okay? So now let me now print students. You can see I have Lawal, Nana, and Ubong because I have removed Shegun from the list, and I've also removed Lawal from the list, okay? But we have another method which is remove, okay? Remove would what? It will remove the first occurrence from an item, meaning if you, the difference between remove and pop is, for pop you remove by specifying the index, okay, but for remove you remove by specifying the item, okay. Let me come again. Both are actually used to delete an item in a list, but if you're using pop, you remove by specifying the index. So if you want to remove Shegun from the student list and Shegun happen to actually be index 0, all you need to do is what? To call pop 0 on student and you remove Shegun, okay? But if you want to remove Shegun using the method remove, you have to specify what exactly you are removing, okay? Now, but in cases where you have more than one Shegun, okay? Now, take for example, my students, I have Lawal, I have Nana, and I have Upong, okay? But in cases where you have more than one item, meaning if you're specifying Lawal and you have more than one Lawal, then remove removes the first occurrence. But if you're specifying an item that is not in the list, then it throws up error, okay? So this is me using the method remove. I'm removing Lawa from students and I'm left with just Nana and Ubong, okay? Now let me try and specify an item that doesn't exist, students. So I'm removing nothing from students. Now this does not exist because X is not in the list. X here is nothing, you can see. And the reason why we have an error here is because nothing is not an item in student. So I can't remove nothing from student because nothing does not exist. Okay. So let's move on to extend. As it sounds, extend is used to add. You understand? It works, it is a bit similar to append. Okay. But append can only take an item at a time. You understand? But for extend, it can take more than one. Do you understand me? Meaning pop and remove works, they do almost similar thing, right? Just that for pop, you remove by specifying the index. Why for remove? You remove by what? You delete, let me use the word delete. You delete by specifying the item. For append, you can only append an item at a time, but for extend, you can do more than one. And you can see here, I am actually adding Tayo and Ubong to students. Okay, now you see, now I have Tayo and Ubong. Okay, why for Claire? Claire is used to delete all the items in the list. Okay, but I'm actually not even, okay, so this is me wanting to use Claire method. But even by doing that, I also used the copy method. What does copy means? Copy is just duplicating, okay? So because I don't want to clear the elements in students, I want to create a copy, a replica of what I have before. So I'm replicating these students by calling the method copy on it, okay? And I'm specifying it. I'm I'm calling, like, this is actually a variable, a new variable, new list, and I'm creating a replica and I'm saving it or storing it as new list. Okay, so this is now my new list, which is just a replica of students, right? Now, I now want to call declare on it. The reason why I'm just replicating it is because, yes, I can call method on students, but going forward, we would not be able to use the student itself again. You understand? So that's the reason why I created a replica, so that, yes, I can clear that out and still continue using students. Now, this is me calling the method clear on new list. And you can see new list here consists of Nana, Ubong, Tayo, and Ubong, right? But now the list is empty. There's actually nothing there again because I've cleared it out. Okay, so let's go to method count. Now, count, as it sounds, is just it returns the number of occurrence of a given value. Okay, so, and if you don't specify the item you want to count, it gives. Okay, so let's continue and let's see how it works. Now, this is students. Okay, now in students I have Nana, Ubong, Tayo, and Ubong, right? Now I'm counting. Ubong. Okay, so this one is more or less like me wanting to know how many Ubong do I have in students. Now it is, I have 2. Okay, so let's see if I can actually use the count without specifying the item itself. So let's see if this will work or it will give an error. Okay, so as you can see, it gives an error. And what's the error saying? It's actually a type error. Tomorrow we'll be treating how to handle errors and exception. But let's read through the error message. It is actually a type error. Count takes exactly 1 argument. None is actually given. So meaning I can only use count to count the number of occurrences. So now let me count Nana. This will definitely return 1. Okay, so you use count on a list to count the number of occurrence of an item in the list. Okay, so we have another method called index. Now, index is just used to know, as I've said earlier when we started the class today, that even we all know that Python works on 0 indexing. All right. So if I want to know what is the index of Ubong in students, it's more or less like me using calling the method index and specifying the item on the list. So Ubong is index 1. So let's actually do the maths here. So first of all, let me print the list. Now you can see Nana is 0 because Python is 0 indexing. It starts from 0. Nana is 0. Ubong is 1. Tayo is 2. Ubong is 3. So since I'm actually asking for the index of Ubong, it will return the first occurrence, okay, which is 1. All right. So if I'm using sort, which is actually another method, in what sort does is what is to order orders in the items in a list in alphabetical order or numerical order, can only work with homogeneous data type in a list. That is, the list should all be numbers or all strings. So I have students to be Nana, Ubong, Tayo, and Ubong, right? So this is me calling the method sort on students, okay? And as I've said earlier, what does sort does? It just arrange, it will arrange it alphabetically, their strings, and it will arrange them numerically with their numbers. So calling sort method on students, you can see that initially we have what? Nana, Ubong, Tayo, and Ubong, right? For now, I have Nana because N comes before T. Okay. Now I have Ubong and Ubong because U tends towards the end of the alphabetical, what is it called? Alphabetical order. T comes before U and N comes before T. So using the method sort is like me arranging it alphabetically. But what if I want it the other way around? Meaning I want it reversed. Okay. So if you want it reversed, then you now need to specify reverse is equals to true. Then you have it from Ubong down to Nana. Okay. So that is that about list and methods. We have so many methods, so many methods on lists, and I would just advise read up, okay, because as much as the method we know, then it will actually help us to manipulate lists, okay? So now let's go to dictionary. As I've said, list is just, in order to really identify a list is stored in a square bracket, okay? But if you're talking about dictionary is stored in a curly bracket. And one unique distinction or one unique characteristics of a dictionary is that it has a key. And as we all know, that a key, once you have a key, then you can open any door. Do you understand? Once you have a key to a lock, then you can open the lock at any time. Do you understand? So a dictionary is just a collection of objects that maps a key item to a value item. Okay? Dictionary, that's DICT, is a function used to create a dictionary passing various parameters as arguments. For lists, we use list function, and I think I used that in the last class. You can also use DICT, a dict function, to create a dictionary. So as I've said before, a dictionary maps a key to a value item. So let's start by creating our first dictionary, which I called first dict, sorry. So as I've said, a dictionary is curly bracket. Now this is names, which is the key. Now I am mapping these names to Ola. I'm mapping the age to 34, and I'm mapping the occupation to nurse. Do you understand? So let me print this. And you have it like this, that the age is 34, the name is Ola, and the occupation is nurse. Okay? Then you can also have a dictionary in another dictionary. Take for instance, let me explain this. Okay? You know, we use list to collect data and store data. We also use dictionary to collect data and store data. You understand? But as for the first one I explained, so the name of the person is assigned, the name of the person key, the key here is name, and the value is Ola. The key here is age, and the value is 34. The key here is occupation, and the value is not. So let's come here now. This is more or less like a dictionary in a smaller dictionary in a bigger dictionary. Now, it is like I have Ola. You can see here, this is Ola, which is a key. Okay. But it is more or less like me saving Ola's details. Okay. So Ola's details as regards age is 34. Occupation is nurse. So everything here reports to Ola. Ola is the key and this is the value. Now, inside the value, I have another key which is age, and Ola's age now is 34, while Ola's occupation is nurse. Now, speaking to Kofo, which happens to be another key in the dictionary. Now, Kofo has another dictionary that keeps, let's assume Kofo is a she. Now, Kofo has another dictionary that keeps her age, which is 28, and her occupation, which is engineer. Okay. So now printing this, right, running this code, I have this. So let's discuss how to get value items from, oh, sorry, it should be from a dictionary. So in order to get an item out from a list, we use the index, okay? But for dictionary, you can actually use the key, okay? So now, my first bit is this, right? Now, I want to get the information of Kofo because Kofo is a key, as I've explained. Kofo is a key, right? So I need all the information of Kofo. Now, you can see me slicing this by Kofo. So I'm indexing. I'm using the key to index the dictionary. So you can see Kofo's age is 28, while her occupation is she's an engineer. Okay. I can do something like this as well. Now, because it is actually a key. Age is a key, Kofo is a key. Now, by using Kofo, it's more or less like, yes, I need all the information about Kofo. But what if I actually don't, I'm not interested in all the information, I need Kofo's age. You understand? As you can see from here, Kofo is a key, age is also a key. So if I'm specifying these two keys, then it will definitely give me 28 because I'm interested in Kofo, yes. I'm also interested in an age, in her age. Okay. Now this is it. Her age is 28. So let's experiment something. Let's see if it follows the hierarchy. Because you know that Kofo is like the super key, while age is like a mini key in Kofo. Okay. So let's try this. Now, will this even give me anything? Let's see. Definitely not. Why? Because age is not a key in the dictionary. Age is a sub-key. The main keys in the dictionary are Ola and Kofo. Age is just a key in Kofo. Do you understand? So if I specify the age key, it's more or less like the program, like the system will be confused because are you asking for Ola's age or you are interested in Kofo's age? So you need to actually specify. And that's the reason why I need to first, okay, I want Kofo's information, then give me the age. I cannot just ask for the age directly. Do you understand? So the same thing goes for Ola. Ola is a key in first dict, while occupation is a key in Ola. Okay, so let me come to the dictionary. You can see Ola, this is another key, occupation, and this is the value. So Ola's occupation will be what? Nurse. So this is it. Okay, so using the dict function to create a dictionary. Now, if I want to use a dict function to create a dictionary, I would call the function, then I will specify the key and the value, then I will separate it by comma, specify the key and the value, specify the key and the value. So this is our dictionary. Okay. Now, this is me importing a NumPy package. And what I'm just trying to do is I want to assign a value to the key. Let me just explain this. Although now this is a list, okay? Now this is me randomizing an integer between 0 and 10 for I in range of the length. We all know that students, the length of students is 3, okay? So for I in range 3, because length students will give me 3, and for I in range 3, I'm saying randomize. So it is definitely going to randomize 3 values, okay, which is score. Now, I'm using the function zip to like map the student and the scores. So I now have, you can see, now I use the dictionary. So this is more or less like the key, while this is now the value, okay? Now I now have Nana to have 2, Tayo 1, this Ubong 8. If I run this again, the value will definitely change because I'm randomizing. You see, now it's 2, 3, 6. If I run this again, the value will change because I did not specify. All I did was to use random int, meaning I'm using the NumPy package to what? To randomize values between 0 and 10. Okay, so we'll learn that as well. So now let's talk about dictionary methods. We have keys, we have values, we have items, we have gets. Now, my dictionary, I'm coming. So this is an idea of what I have before we proceed. So if I'm calling key, if I'm using this method key on my dict, okay, now what this will return, it will return the keys in the dictionary. And the keys are Nana, Tayo, and Ubong, okay? The same way if I call the method value on a dictionary, it will what? It will return the values. So these are the values 2, 8, and 6. Okay. If I call the method items, you know, now from this is an item. Item is just a combination of both the key and the value. This is another item, while this is another item. Items are separated with comma, but this hyphen is used to map the key to its value. So if I should call the method items on the dictionary, it returns the items in the dictionary. Okay. I can also use get. If I'm using get, then I am specifying the key. Now, ubong here, the value is 2. Okay. So let me run this and see. You see, I'm getting the value, like it's more or less like I will specify the key, then it returns the value corresponding to this key. Okay. So let's see how we can actually look through a dictionary. Now, for I in my dict, print I. This would what? This will return the keys in the dictionary. Okay. This would only return the keys in the dictionary. But see, now I'm saying for I in my dict, now I'm now using this I. We all know that I is either ubong, tayo, or nana. I'm now using this I to further slice or to further index my dictionary. Okay. Now this would what? Give me the value of each keys. Okay. I can also use items. We all know that if I should call the method item on a dictionary, it returns both the key and the value. Okay. So now for I in this, then I would have each item printed out like this. Okay. So this is just me explaining different ways in which we can actually look through a dictionary. Now, this is another one. For I in my dict, keys. Now, I have explained this method, and we all know that this method, what? It returns the key in the dictionary. And the key here is what? Ubong, Tayo, and Nana. This is assigned to I. Okay. Now, let me now come to my print statement. I'm printing I, then I'm adding it to this string, meaning I'm converting this line of code to a string. Why? Because my I is a string, and I'm trying to concatenate using add. Okay. And for me to concatenate strings, I can only add 2 strings together. And this is not a string. 8 is an integer. So the more reason why I'm converting whatever this line of code will give me to a string so that I can actually use plus to concatenate. Okay. So now let me explain this. Now this is my dict.get. Now what does get does? In order to use get, you have to specify the key. Then when you use .get, then key, and we specify the key, then its output is definitely going to be the value that corresponds to the key you imputed, right? So now what I'm doing is I'm printing I, and I'm coming here to get the corresponding value to that I. Okay, so I have 10 more minutes. So let me run through. So we'll have this. Okay. So to do, investigate what .value method returns and use it in a loop below. So I'm saying we've used get, we've used items, then try and investigate what .value would return, which I think we've done. It will return the value of the dictionary, then use it in a loop. Okay. So far so good. We've explained lists and dictionary. Okay. So let me explain set. Set is similar to, it is neither a list nor a dictionary. Okay, it resembles a dictionary because it uses a curly bracket. Okay, but set doesn't have a key. Okay, it is not a list because one, it is a curly bracket and not a square bracket. Two, a set can only store an occurrence of a value. Do you understand? Now, let me just read what I have here. A set is a collection of items without order, which can only store one occurrence. So now I am specifying my set, a variable. I'm declaring a variable that consists of Kachi, 34, Kofi, 34, and 14. This 14 here is a string because it is actually in a quote. Now, let me print my set. You can see that this is the order, but it has actually changed the order, meaning it is a collection of items without order. Secondly, you will see that while declaring the set, I have two items that are the same, two 34s, right? But when I printed my set, I just have 134 returned. That's to tell us that I can only save just one, meaning I cannot have an item repeated more than once. If I have that, it will just keep one and discard the rest. Okay, so that is just that is what is so special about set. So you cannot use set to keep duplicate records. No. Okay, so if you're dealing with something and you don't want it to have a duplicate, then you should be considering set. You can actually use set to store that kind of data because it won't tolerate duplicates at all. It won't. So read more on the methods of sets and use each of them as defined above, meaning use the methods and play around the methods. Okay. So the last data structure would actually be discussing will be tuple. Just for the recap, I've explained lists, dictionary, set. Now we are back to tuple. Now, tuple is like a list, but it is immutable. Immutable means that it cannot get modified. Once created, think of it as an inflexible storage, meaning tuple, first of all, tuple uses a bracket. It is not a square bracket, neither is it a curly bracket. It is the conventional bracket, this. That is what we use for tuple. And as well, you cannot modify a tuple. Once it is created, you cannot add, you cannot rearrange, cannot remove an item from a tuple. Okay, so this is a tuple, you can see. So the tuple has no method since you cannot add, remove, switch positions, increase or decrease that. You cannot even now, I have declared the tuple my tuple. I cannot come and add another new tuple to it. It is so unique in that way, meaning you cannot manipulate a tuple. So it is suitable to store values that won't change. Okay, while set is used to store values in which you don't need, that doesn't, you use set to store values that you don't want to cater for duplicates. Okay, now this is indexing tuple. This is 0, 1, 2. So my top 2 will definitely give me Lily, while this will give me everything before the second index. Okay, so let me print this. This gives Lily. Let me run this. This gives solo and 43. Okay. So the to do would be to look through and manipulate the items from the tuple above. So we've actually come to the end of today's class. And in summary, we treated data structure. We talked about lists, its methods, dictionary, discussed the keys and the value, and also the methods and how to look through dictionaries. Then we discussed sets and also tuple. So now for the next 2-3 minutes, if we have any question, please let's ask. As regards today's class, if you have any question. Okay, so I want to believe that today's class is actually self-explanatory, so to say, once we go through the notes. And should in case we have any question while reading through, let's just drop our message in the comment section in our classroom. I would attend to our question. So tomorrow we'll be treating errors and exception. How to, it is not possible as a young programmer, you write codes, you would definitely get errors. So tomorrow we'll be discussing how to debunk the error, the types of errors we have, and it's definitely going to be an interesting class. Okay, we are approaching the end of the course, so to say. The last week will be next week, while Sunday would actually be for general revision, and Saturday would be on how to import module and all. So in the absence of no further question, I would come in. Oh, okay, there is no question. So thank you very much for coming to class today. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Now, before I leave, all the videos, I would drop what is it called? The link to the YouTube channel. All our videos have been uploaded. This one will definitely be uploaded tonight as well. So you can go back and watch all the classes if you need to catch up with any class. So thank you very much once again and have a wonderful day.